Hi there. So I want to share a couple of stories of mistakes that people make at interviews, interview etiquette. So a guy went for an interview in a telecoms company, and I'm talking about real life stories here. Nothing is made up or fabricated. And he was asked a simple question. He says, okay, so what can you do? This man said, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, at a telecoms interview. And the interviewer was also born again. And the interviewer said, listen, what are your strengths? Guess what this man said? He said, the joy of the Lord is my strength. And that was the end of the interview. The interviewer, who was equally born again, a pastor actually, told him that, you know what, you can go. And that was how he lost the job. Don't be foolishly spiritual. It's a telecoms interview. And when he started veering off guard, he started to tell him that, listen, you are veering off guard, but this man will not listen. And that's it. So refrain from those mistakes. The second mistake I want to talk about that people make at interviews is the fact that people show up at interviews poorly dressed. Some people show up at interviews poorly dressed. So let me explain. When the GSM industry was starting in Nigeria, the chairman of one of the major GSM providers was organizing an interview. Hey, wait, stop the tape. We have some breaking news right here. I'm going to be facilitating one of the most impactful trainings on reprogramming the subconscious coming up real soon. Subconscious mind is programmed in childhood but can be reprogrammed in adulthood or at any other time. One more time. The subconscious mind is programmed in childhood but can be reprogrammed at any other time. I'm going to be teaching about the principles, the techniques on reprogramming the subconscious. I'm a beneficiary of what I'm going to be training as well. I grew up with a certain pattern in my life of having low energy during pivotal moments in my life, during tipping points in my life, big moments. I just witnessed low energy, lack of zeal, lack of enthusiasm. And I was able to use these principles to reprogram my subconscious. So do you have patterns that you want to break? Do you want to form new habits? Do you want to discontinue old habits, bad habits that you're pleased with? You can do so by learning the principles I'll be teaching in this training. You can see the flyers right here. I'll also be facilitating a training on how individuals become institutions. I take techniques from the greatest companies who have ever lived, who are almost near monopolies. Companies like Volkswagen, Toyota, great companies. I chronicle those companies and show you how individuals who started those companies eventually created corporations that are now institutions. It's an amazing training for anybody who wants to become pivotal in any leadership capacity, even if you're a parent, for anybody at all. An amazing training. So these two trainings are coming up real soon, as you can see on the flyers. Scan the QR code for more details. Do have an amazing day, and bye for now. And somebody appeared at the interview looking poorly dressed, disheveled. And when he set his eyes on this man, he was aghast and said, how could you allow this man to show up at this interview? How could you allow him to even come to this interview dressed like this? How could you allow him past the gates? You know what this man did? He fired his whole interview team on the spot and told everybody to go back home. Everybody to go back home. Everybody to go back home. Because one person was poorly dressed. So when you dress, you are either opening doors for yourself or closing doors against yourself. I'll share more stories with you. A lady shared this story with me many years ago. She was at a hotel on the mainland in Lagos called Planet One, and a Filipino walked up to her and said, do you do supplies? And of course she said, yes, I do supplies. But you know what he said? He said, I need somebody to do business that involves a supplier. I can't do it because my brother is the one involved, and because we are related, I cannot do it because of conflict of interest issues, and I need a neutral Nigerian to do this. And he said something. He said, I like the way you are dressed. You look responsible. You look like somebody I can do business with. Be careful about your dressing. Be careful about your dressing. There are some men that can't knot ties. There are some men that knot ties. The ties are too short. So they wear ties that go above their belt buckle, which is wrong. So be careful about your dressing. I want to share more interview etiquette. This video is dedicated to interview etiquette. So I'll continue sharing stories. Now, this story I'm about to share is an interview of something that happened at a bank in Nigeria, a commercial bank. Now, this lady, very brilliant, very, very brilliant. And she had passed the first stage of the interview, the second stage. She was at the final stage of the interview, and I believe that she was asked what was the final question. She was being interviewed by the ED of the company, and he asked her, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Guess what this lady said? She said, I see myself in your position in the next 5 years because you are a woman, I'm a woman. If you can do it, I can do it. Now, this woman felt like that was too audacious or too impetuous. I won't use the word rude, but too impetuous, too ruthless, you know. And she felt, I won't use the word, maybe she felt intimidated, but she decided at that point she was not going to take her for the job. So sometimes maybe you want to be a little bit more careful, just a little bit more careful when you are giving responses. Don't appear to be too audacious. Sometimes you never can tell. It could resonate well with certain people and it could resonate poorly with certain people. So you just want to be a little bit balanced, just somewhere in the middle. Let me share one more story with you. The chairman of a GSM provider, one more time, was organizing an interview and he said this. He introduced himself, said, "I am Mike the Bull Adenuga. Can I get to meet you?" And the person he was interviewing said, "I am Dio the Gorilla." So one says, "I'm Mike the Bull. Can I get to meet you?" I'm Mike the Bull. The other says, "I'm Dio the Gorilla." And guess what? The chairman, Mike the Bull, fell in love with him automatically. He loved his confidence. He loved his confidence. I'm Mike the Bull, I'm Dio the Gorilla. So loved his confidence. So sometimes your confidence could be interpreted as confidence, your confidence could be interpreted as arrogance. So you want to be careful. But let me share a couple more stories. A first class holder appeared at an interview. First class in statistics, not just first class in any course, statistics. But his age did not match his date of birth, which means he was lying. Now, the woman who told me this story is a HR executive. And she said to me that, "I don't even mind if he chose to lie. But if you're going to tell a lie as a first class holder in statistics, shouldn't the lies match up? Shouldn't the numbers add up if you're a first class holder in statistics?" And she said for that reason, she wasn't going to take it. So I want to share some more stories. This is an interview etiquette video and I want to share stories to show you why people fail at interviews. Now, another story I was told about how a man who was also a first class holder got a job. And on the first day at work, he had an altercation with the security guard in the organization. The first day at work. First day at work, had an altercation with a security guard. But guess what? His chairman was looking at him from the window and saw that and said, "Okay, if this is this man's character, what I'm going to do is that when it's time for him to be confirmed at 6 months, he will not be confirmed." And he was not confirmed 6 months. So his attitude on the first day at work told a lot and worked against him. So be careful at interviews. You never know. Be very, very careful at interviews. Now, I'm going to share more stories with you in subsequent videos. But for now, God bless you. Do have an amazing day and bye for now. Hi there, I'm Adekomi Olusonya, publisher of the Immersion Bible, and I will get you addicted to the Word of God, line upon line, precept upon precept. If you would like access to any of my books, products, or services, scan the QR code after this and you will have access to that. Kemi sends her love as always. Do have an amazing day and bye for now.